Hey guys, it's Steven. The most important thing traders in my coaching program are looking for is simplification. A lot of you guys have asked me if a strategy as simple as the power bar strategy can work on different assets. Today, what I'm going to do is show you how it works on a few different assets, including gold or the gold ETF. But more importantly, a little later in the video, I'll show you a small tweak that can keep you from trading this strategy in a choppy market. You don't get cut up and your profits don't dwindle when we're moving sideways. So remember, with this trade, I'm looking for simplification. So the power bar setup is a power bar that originates near the 20, either in the direction of the 20, or if the 20 is flat, it can move in either direction, and it clears immediate either support or resistance to the left. And that's exactly what my indicator is set up to do. A couple of you guys have asked about my indicator settings. And again, the indicator is linked in the description below. My settings are at 0.8 sensitivity, 75% body. This is the default now with the indicator, 0.8. And then everything else clicked on. Let's look at Qs really quickly. I'm going to go through these pretty fast, right? Power bar that originates near the 20. The red line here is my 20. And this is today on the Qs near the open. A short is indicated. The stop would be up here. Take profit levels down here as the Qs fall. Later in the day, around 10:50, we get a power bar that clears this resistance. It originates near the 20. I'm combining, and the indicator is combining these four candles into one power bar, right? This is one continuous smooth move higher that breaks through resistance. The stop is at the base of where the power bar begins, which the indicator is pointing out here with this red line. We get the pullback, but never break support here, and then take profit levels are hit here and here. Let's look at NVDA. NVDA this morning. Okay, same idea, not super surprising, right? It trades with the Qs, or it has a lot of input into the Qs. You get a short here. The stop would be up here where the power bar originates. Just above that. You get a nice move lower, take profit. Here you get a long that is originating. This may be a reversal trade as well. I've also done videos on that. You have a downtrend for the reversal. Again, super simple. Downtrend, a move above the 20, which you had here as well, right? But there was no buy here because you didn't have a base and then a break higher. Here you have a base. It probably doesn't show up well on the video, but if you have the indicator, you can see these 1, 2, 3 candles form the base, which is here and here. As you break the base, right, this is the reversal trade. That's the trigger to get long. So this trade was actually both a power bar after the 20 had started curling higher and a reversal trade. Take profit, along here with more take profits. Power bar that originates near the 20 that breaks here. This resistance moves higher. Again, take profit levels. Now let's look at a couple that have been in the news recently, or one that's been in the news, SMR. And let's use a different time frame. All right, let's go to a 15-minute on SMR. If you're trading this one, swing with the recent sell off in the nuclear stocks. On a 15 minute, you got a power bar here that breaks. I'm going to move it so we can see it a little better. That breaks support here. So on the 15 minute, you get take profit. You get another power bar as the stock SMR gets close to the 20, and then you get a power bar lower, and this one stops out, right? It's not going to work on every single trade, and it stops out here. I'm on extended hours trading on the 15 minute with the SMR. You get a short here that gets stopped out on this quick reversal, and then you get another short with take profit levels as SMR breaks lower. I'll move forward a little bit. You get a long here, and I have extended hours trading, so we're getting both pre-market and post regular hours trades here. So you get a long here as this power bar forms near the 20 and is breaking out. That immediately gets reversed and would have been stopped out here, which is the base, the beginning of this power bar. I'll make it a little bigger. And then you get a power bar lower and you get a short. And you get a nice take profit overnight in this one. Again, this is extended hours. If you trade extended hours, then you can use it on that. And if not, then obviously don't. Take profit levels here. You get another short. And this is intraday today at 12:45. And we're already hitting take profit levels, right? So again, power bars work on different time frames. I often show in videos trading it on the 2 minute. It works on the 5 minute. It works on the 15 minute. If you want to do swing trades or you're doing swing trades, using a power bar setup is not a bad way to go, especially on a stock that is moving like an SMR. I did a video on Oklo because that one's moving, right? Let's look at GLD. Someone had asked me about gold. Let's also look at that on a 15 minute and see what this looks like, right? I'm going to take off extended hours and just go to regular hours on gold. For those of you who don't trade extended, you're just trading during the regular trading hours. This goes back to, because we're on a 15-minute chart with GLD, it goes back to October 9th. Again, today's the 21st. You get a short power bar move lower here, and I'll make it a little bit bigger, and then I'll zoom back out. That's breaking support. You get take profit levels, again, on the 15 minute. You get a long here that ends up getting stopped out, right? It's going to get stopped out as you go through the base here of the power bar, which is a combination of these bars right here. So this is a loss, right? A win, again on the 15 minute, a loss, a nice win, another nice win, and I'll go back. A short here that would have gotten stopped out on this move higher. So if you're swinging something that can have big moves like gold has had, if I took this short in a stock or an ETF or a commodity that's moving higher, like this is essentially against the longer term trend, but on the 15 minute, the 20 has rolled. Personally, if I took this short, I'm not sure I would have held it into the next day. I don't normally trade GLD, but this is what the indicator, and this is the power bar move, right? The 20's headed lower. We get the break. It clears here. So entry at some point in this candle. Again, if I took this trade, I probably would have exited at least some of the position on this move lower. But again, like I said, I'm not trading this very much. It gets stopped out on a big gap higher, right? So if you're trading something that has gaps like this, you want to be very careful going counter trend overnight, right? Again, on the 15-minute, the indicator indicates a short, and it did move lower. Personally, I probably wouldn't have held much, if anything, short overnight in an uptrend like this. Going to the next day, you get a power bar here. And I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. We can see that. The power bar here, take profit levels. And the reason there's a stop loss on the indicator was because you didn't hit all three take profit levels. Again, I think you can take profit in a little bit more sophisticated way that is just in the indicator, which is set at a take profit at 1 times, 1.5 times, and 2 times the size of the power bar. But there are more sophisticated ways to do that. And let's look at gold now on a 2-minute. And I want to show you the weakness of a power bar trade and relying solely on an indicator. If you are in a sideways market, again, this is the 2-minute on gold. So this is today. If you're in a sideways choppy market, my indicator is picking up power bars based on this sensitivity level, which is set to a multiple of the average true range. Once you start ranging in a narrow range, then the average true range is going to be shrinking and getting smaller and smaller. What happens with an indicator like this is that you're going to get buy and sell signals that aren't necessarily what I would call a power bar, because the size of the power bar is shrinking. The required power bar is shrinking. The way you can counter that is if you go into a range like this and you're using an indicator, bump up the sensitivity to make the power bar bigger, right? So if I bumped that sensitivity to 1.2, it triggers one trade that gets stopped out. With the sensitivity at 0.8, which again is the default, it triggers 1, 2, 3 trades. These 2 get stopped out, and this one is successful. So again, if you go into a range and you're relying on the indicator and not your eyeballs to pick out the power bars, just simply increase the sensitivity level, and that'll give fewer trades in a range. Okay, so that the power bar strategy, we also touched on the reversal strategy. Again, it's just simplification, right? Again, you don't need the indicator to be able to see the power bars forming and the reversal strategies, but I designed it to point out, especially for people learning the strategy, where those power bars are, and again, just make it, very simple to trade using a power bar strategy. All right, again, back to Qs: short, take profit, long, take profit. 2 trades, 2 very profitable trades in Qs. Again, super simple. You don't need 15 indicators on your chart to see these trades, right? And again, there's a link to the indicators in the description below. If you have any questions, let me know. You can comment power in the comments, and I'll send you my power bar cheat sheet if you want a little more help on spotting this setup and see what it looks like. And thanks for watching.